All right. Last but not least, you know what time it is. It's rapid reactions. A whole lot of topics, a little bit of time. Jake, the floor is yours.
All right, the Charlotte Hornets have identified Mike D'Antoni as a serious candidate for the head coaching vacancy. Does that make sense to you? And if so, is he the man for the job?
I think so. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think he got his James Harden or whatever like version. I think LaMelo Ball can be his James Harden of the offense he likes to run with that free flowing and the way this team is kind of built. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think he is a man that can do something for a short period of time. Though he's not that, never been like an elite championship level coach, but Charlotte is in that area where they just need to elevate, gain some respect, gain some experience, and I think Mike D'Antoni can possibly do that. Pittsburgh star wide receiver Jordan Addison officially appeared in the transfer portal this afternoon. What's your reaction to that?
I'll be paying more attention to where he goes in the transfer portal than I was to Kenny Pickett, where he went to in the draft. Cardinals star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins has been suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's policy on PEDs. I'm pretty sure you're surprised by that. So how surprised were you by that news?
I don't know, man. From a scale of 1 to 10, you had to punch me in at an 8 on this one, man. I was like, what? DeAndre? You? Man, come on, man. This is tarnishing a legacy that me and my partner both, we very high on one DeAndre Hopkins. He's been out here playing with trash cans for most of his career and still was an all-pro receiver on multiple occasions. Then you got PEDs wrapped up in that. Like, listen, I get it. In football, it ain't the biggest deal, but it's a little black mark on your legacy when you get wrapped up in something like that. So I just thought a little better of him. The New York Mets has designated infielder Robinson Cano for assignment after his slow start to the season. What do you think of that decision?
I think I'm about done with Robinson Cano. This guy's, I think he's had, I think in 2021 he was suspended for the entire season due to PEDs. I think he had a suspension like that, back in his Seattle days. He's clearly not the same player. So I think I'm just done with him. Let's close the book and let's move on. So thank you for the Mets for doing this. Bengals cornerback Mike Hilton says the defending AFC champions are aware that many people think their run to the Super Bowl was a fluke. Was it a fluke?
Like we briefly talked about this. Here's my thing, right? I do think flukish things happen. I do think, injuries part of the game, what have you. But then when you kind of look at it, some things happen that might was a fluke. But I don't think them beating Kansas City when Kansas City put up 28 points in the first half, and didn't do anything in the second half, sound like an adjustment to me. Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill did Ryan Tannehill things. Sound like the norm to me. So, I mean, when you actually break it down, is it flukish because we didn't see the Cincinnati Bengals coming? I think it's more of a thing. They just caught people by surprise. And once this season starts, that surprise element would be out of it. And then I think, everybody will get a best shot to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then, of course, they won't look as good because now you're giving them your best shot and you're not overlooking them. Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill said he needs therapy after a poor performance in the divisional round against the Bengals. What do you know? What are your thoughts on that?
I hope it helps him be a better quarterback. That being said, I see the Titans drafted Leak Willis. So maybe whoever he going to see, if Malik Willis come in here, sneak in here, and maybe take that job, go right back. Make sure you got their phone number and that contact info. You can go right back over there. But no, I mean, look, man, who am I to judge? If I'd have went out there and stunk up the joint like that, I probably would have needed some professional assistance too. So, Anyway, the Falcons have extended defensive tackle Grady Jarrett for 3 years and $51 million. Is that too much, too little, or just right?
I'm going to go just right. This is not a guy that's elite, but then it's a guy that we know. So he's in between, I guess he's what you would call average. And it's the Falcons. Who else you going to get a money to? Your receivers? So with that said, I think it's just right for Grady Jarrett. The New York Yankees was able to bring their entire roster to Toronto for their 3-game series, meaning everyone was vaccinated. Was that a big deal to you?
It's May. It's May of 2022. No, this is not a big deal. Alabama cornerback Elirix was arrested on Sunday night in Mississippi for speeding, driving without insurance, and possessing marijuana. Ricks transferred in from LSU this offseason. That's not the best way to earn a starting spot for Nick Saban, right?
Nah, it's probably not preferred. But let me tell you something. It's kind of funny. Elirix is from California. He initially signed with LSU, Louisiana State University. Then he transferred over to the University of Alabama. And you know what? He gets in trouble in the state of Mississippi. So I just think he might just be, going state to state, just see what's good in the South, being a California kid. Now, all jokes aside, yeah, it's going to probably put him in the doghouse with Nick Saban in the beginning. But the one thing about the doghouse is you can't get out of the doghouse as long as you do what you're supposed to do. So this was his first offense. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, this is not the best way to start, try to get a starting job on a very, very elite defense this year. Last one, the NFL said Monday that they found no evidence to support Hue Jackson's claim that the Browns lost games on purpose during the 2016 and 17 season. Do you think that hurts Jackson's credibility?
Oh yeah. If he had credibility left, he with a nice zero balance of credibility now. This was ridiculous from the start. We knew. Look, that Browns team was horrible. The ownership didn't need to pay him to lose games. They were just that bad. So I never want to hear from Hue Jackson again. I don't know where he coached at. What is it? Log Cabin University or whatever it is. Never want to hear from him again.
But okay.
Whatever. I'm glad the NFL got this out of here, and I never want to hear from him again in terms of NFL conversation. Anyway, that concludes tonight's Drink of Wisdom. As always, like, listen, share, subscribe. And thank you for joining us, and keep your credibility. Don't be Hue Jackson. I'm Jay Wise.
And I'm Nathan Drink. And remember, make tomorrow better than today, and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Drink of Wisdom.